Okay, I have a 25 centimeter circle wood. I got this from Spotlight. Spotlight sell actual clock ones, which are the exact same size as this, exact same circumference, diameter. They're just a little bit thicker. This one cost me $2 or $2.99. If you buy the one that Spotlight says for a clock, it costs you, I think, up to about $12, or it could be $14. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. But yeah, I got this. Let's say $3. And I'm just going to get some gesso. And just gesso over it, just to get it ready for painting. Now if you can't paint, it doesn't matter. You can do just about anything, make your own clock. You can even print out a picture that you want, and just make sure you seal it with something like Mod Podge, just so that when you glue it on, it looks alright. It doesn't go all yuck. Okay, when the gesso is dry, you're going to grab your Liquitex Basics or whatever you got, any craft glue, any white glue, doesn't matter. I don't usually do it this way, but it's a quick way to do it. Okay, because this is going to be a clock, you want to make sure you cover the edges with your white paint or whatever background paint you're doing. Just make sure you get the edges and do a thorough, pretty good job. I did this video in December and I just found it on my computer today, so I thought I'd do the talking over it because the volume and that is pretty crap on it. It's my old camera. But yeah, there are flies everywhere. They're everywhere. They're determined to drive me insane. And because I did this in December, which is Christmas time, which is summertime, which is fly peak time, so there's flies. Anyway, back on topic. Keep painting the background. Make it all white, get it perfect, just how you want it. And then we will paint Jack Skellington's face on it once it is dry. Make sure it's dry. Okay, I'm using my favourite brush here, which is pretty scraggly. It's my Filbert size 4, I believe it is. I got this one from Officeworks, which is in Australia. I'm using Mars Black and I am free drawing, which is dangerous for me because I am not an amazing drawer, but I'm trying to learn. I'm free drawing Jack Skellington's eyes. I will have a traceable up on my Pinterest page once I put this up, which if you just want to use it, you can use it, or you can, you know, free draw it, or you can do something completely different. Anyway, his whole face is done in Mars Black. Okay, I'm speeding this bit up for you because even I was getting a little bored watching me paint an eye. So I'll paint the other eye exactly the same. And then in this next little bit, I'll show you there's a little, like a little line he has that goes under his eyes. So you'll see that in the next bit where I slow it down for you. See, right here he has just these two little lines that go under his eye. They just, I don't know, maybe like a crease or something. You really should have a reference photo in front of you when you are painting or drawing anything that has a reference photo, and just study that photo. So, you know, I go around and I change things, and I noticed that he had these two lines going under his eye, and I did them. This bit here are his two nose holes because I don't think he really has a nose because he's a skeleton. I think I have problems with that word sometimes. Yeah, so he just has these two dark patches which are his nose holes. My acrobatics here with the paintbrush are because the camera is right there and my paintbrush is a long-handled paintbrush and it likes to tap the camera constantly. So I'm so glad I have my new setup, but it does get in the way of my painting, so I have to paint on an angle. Anyway, this is his mouth. As you can see, it's like a big circle, a big C, sideways C. Lower down, it's a mouth, it's a mouth. And now for his eyebrows. If you check the reference photo, which, yeah, I'll put one on Pinterest too, he has eyebrows. And they're very expressive, actually. They make his eyes very expressive. He has different pictures of different ways that his eyebrows go. And yes, I have seen this, The Nightmare Before Christmas, many times because my eldest daughter just absolutely loved it. Loves it, still does. She's in her 20s and she still watches it and has clothes with Jack Skellington on it and everything with Jack Skellington on it. Okay, after my dance with my paintbrush to avoid the camera, I am going to do the little lines that go across his mouth. I'm pretty sure a little bit further on I swap paintbrushes to a smaller paint. Yes, I swapped to my round. I think it's about a size 6. I will double check, and there's my phone. I will double check and write it on the materials list. But yeah, I think after this I change paintbrushes. Look at that. It's like I could see the future and I knew I was going to change paintbrushes. Wow, I should take a lotto ticket out. Anyway, yeah, just check the reference photo. You just do the lines across his mouth. They point, like these ones here, go on a little bit of an angle pointing towards the center, and then when you do the left hand side, they point the other way towards the center, but not too much. It's like having like stitches across your mouth, and they're going to be a little bit puckered, so they're not straight, they're a little bit curved, and they point towards the middle. And as you go further along to the edge of his mouth, the stitches, I'll call them stitches, the stitches get smaller, so make sure each one is smaller than the one before it, and they're nearly invisible. You can't see them very much when they're near the edge of his mouth. So just do the same thing on the other side of his mouth, and then with this smaller brush I go over and I'll fix up a little bit of the details on his nose hole and eyebrows and eyes, or anything I want to fix up with the smaller brush because it's easier than my scruffy, scraggly Filbert. And now with my magic ability to see into the future, I believe I use Napthol Crimson for his little Santa hat. Using my well-used Filbert again, which is very used, you paint his hat on an angle. Yep, there's a midgie. Look, midgie. I killed it. I killed it. So, we just get so many bugs here in Australia. It's just ridiculous. At the moment, because it's cooling down, we're getting attacked by midgies. They just come through the fly screen and like to just attack you. Anyway, do this in Napthol Crimson with whatever brush you want and do it on an angle. As you can see, it's touching just the top of his right eye and nowhere near his left eye. So make sure you do it on an angle. And then we'll do the white fluffy bits. That is the fluffy bit on Santa's hat. I'm seeing into the future again. I bet you I use titanium white too. Okay, using titanium white and my Filbert again. Just use dabbing motions to... Oh no, that's my flat brush. Oh, look at that, I changed brushes. I'm using the very edge of the flat brush. As you can see, I'm not putting the whole thing down. I'm just using the very bottom edge and just dabbing it along. And don't go all the way up the hat, because the white fluff on Santa's hat is only on about the bottom, 2 centimeters. So you just tap along, tap, 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 with your titanium white, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, after I finish the bottom 2 centimeters of the white fluffy on Skellington's fluffy Santa hat, I'm come through, gee, that was a mouthful. I've come through with my detailer brush, which is a size 4/0 with titanium white, and I'm just doing stripe lines, just lines to create a little bit of texture, a little bit of stray strands that are poking up on his hat. Yeah, that's what I do, going across, and just wherever I think that there's going to be a stray fluffy bit that I want to use with my small brush, then I do it. As you can see, doing those little stripes with the detailer brush add more texture to it and make it seem more fluffy. So if you can, try and do that, because I actually like the way it looks. Alright, now this is about 3 to 5 days later, because you've got to let the acrylic paint dry really well before you add resin to it. And I have 2 equally sized paint pots to put Jack Skellington on, and I also am about to get my level. When you're using resin, you really want to make sure it's level, otherwise it goes all lopsided, and trust me, I have done it, and it's not fun. So make sure you get it level and stable, which is what I'm trying to do right now, but it takes me a moment. I don't know why I'm trying to get it level now anyway, because in the next step we need to use painter's tape to go around the very edge of the whole circle so that the resin will build up a little bit and not just go and slip all over the edge. So yeah, you can get it level now, or you can put your painter's tape on next, which is what I do, and then get it level. Make sure in this step here you use painter's tape, which is special tape that is, it's not that sticky, so it's not going to peel the paint off when you take it off. If you take it off at the right time when you're doing resin, it won't get stuck to the resin. If you leave it on there till the resin is dry, it will stick to the bottom of the resin, so all you do is you just sand it off and it's done. But try and here I've got about... Let's try that again, shall we? Sorry, I have my son at home and he likes to bang toys, which is normal. Anyway, I have about 1 centimetre above Jack Skellington of the tape and about 1 centimetre under, and then I'm just gonna, as you can see, I'm just folding it over. And you want to make sure you push it down fairly tight. It's painter's tape, it's not going to stick like gaffer tape or whatever that tape is, I don't know. But if you stick it down pretty well, the resin should not get past it. Make sure you run your finger along the edge when you are done. And just have the painter's tape up as high over Jack Skellington as you want the resin to go. Not too high, because it's just too thick then. About 1 centimetre, I think it's just under 1 centimetre I have there. And now we have the resin part. I bought resin wholesale because I was using a lot of it. And then I developed a really bad allergy, and yeah, if I go near it, even if I'm covered in all this gel and stuff and gloves and mask, and I still get really bad allergy. So don't do what I'm doing here. I already had my allergy here and I just didn't give a crap because I was only doing it for 10 seconds anyway. Anyway. You mix resin however it says to mix it, and then you pour it over Jack Skellington as I'm doing here. Please wear gloves, mask, aerated, aired place. I've got my garage door open, which is about the only thing I did right here. Mix it really well. Make sure you mix it really well when you mix in the two parts together. And then the next part, I'm going to get my embossing thingy. Yep, it's an embossing heat gun. That's it, heat gun. And I'm going to blow all the bubbles out, which is a very important part when you're doing a clear one like this. You want all the bubbles gone. After this, before I did this actually, on the exact same day, I'd done another Jack Skellington resin piece, and I'll put the video up for that. It was UV resin, which I thought would be fine with me, but a little bit exploded onto me all over my chest. And the next day after this, I was in severe pain, rash, swelling. So I think by the time that I was doing this, I thought, well, I'm going to probably get an allergic reaction anyway, so I may as well just quickly do this one and get it over and done with. But yeah, please make sure you wear all the appropriate things, because it's stupid not to, and sometimes I'm stupid. Anyway, blow all the bubbles out, but don't do it for too long. Just do it for a minute or so. Get all the bubbles out and then leave it and let it set. Word of advice, don't poke it if you think it's dry. Give it another hour or so, because there are so many times that I've gone up to resin and it's been drying for 12 hours and I think, oh yeah, it's dry. Poke and your finger sticks to it and resin curls up, and if you think it's dry, give it another hour and then go and check it. Don't poke it. And if you just get any clock mechanism, I actually bought a cheap clock from Kmart. It cost me about $4 or $5, and I pulled it apart and got the clock mechanism. If you buy it straight from a shop, the clock mechanism, it will cost, I don't know, anywhere up to $20, depends. So you drill a hole. I didn't film doing this bit, so I'll just tell you. I drill a hole right in the middle after I've established where the middle is. I've measured it and done diameter and all that crap. And I drilled a hole and then I put it through, and there's the back. I also sanded the back where any resin went on, and I'm going to paint the back of it, but you don't need to see that. And then you just put it in and hang it up. If you have any sharp edges, you just give it a quick sand. It doesn't damage the resin. And there you have your Jack Skellington clock.